Nakaka-proud talaga maging Pilipino kung ganito. Kung ganito yung klase yung presidente natin, no? Napakatalino talaga. Ito yung interview niya sa Bloomberg, eh. Talagang napahanga ako ng gusto rito. Hindi sayang yung boto natin, mga kababayan.
Bagong umaga, bagong Pilipinas. Ako po si Noel BC at ito ang One News. Report, rewind, react, respect.
Yung mga sagot niya, oh, yung mga sagot niya po sa interview, talagang pati yung nag-i-interview, talagang napahanga, malupit. Malupit si BBM. Maraming salamat po, Pangulo. Kasi talagang maganda ang plano niya para sa Pilipinas. Bago po natin simulan ng video, to panoorin po natin, ha. Ito yung interview niya sa Bloomberg, sa international interview niya. Bago po natin panoorin ang video, in-invite ko po kayo na i-like ang video para po maumpisahan na natin. Ayan. At kung hindi ka pa po nakaka-subscribe sa aking channel, please subscribe and i-click mo na rin po yung notification bell para po lagi kayong updated sa mga bago nating videos. Okay guys, i-play na po natin yung video. Talagang nakaka-excite. Ang sarap pakinggan ng mga sagot ni BBM, ang ating Pangulo, mahal na Pangulo. Congrats po sa mga Pilipino. Ihanda nyo na po ang inyong mga sarili sa pagbabago ng Pilipinas. Ito po, panoorin po
Mr.
natin.
President, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak on all of these issues that we are facing.
Especially when it comes to the global economy, to the Philippine economy, right? The global inflationary picture right now getting worse.
Yeah.
Prices also across the Philippines rising. What is your government doing to mitigate this?
Well, certainly we have decided, actually, given the choice between defending foreign exchange and trying to remedy the situation of rising interest rates, rising inflation. This is something that we have tried to control, of course, with the usual mechanisms of moving the interest rate.
Tell us a little bit about how the forex markets are doing right now. In your view, what is the appropriate level for the Philippine peso?
That's very hard to say for the simple reason that we really have not had this situation before. So it's not, there is no formula that will says the range should be here to there. It really is a
Kung
reflection,
mapapansin
in
yung
my
mga
view, is a
kabisyo,
reflection.
iniisip na yung mga kalagayan ng mga ordinaryong tao, yung mga mamamayan na nasa simpleng buhay lang, na talagang pangarap niyang makasabay sa ating pagbabago. Okay, tuloy po natin.
Right, and I think we have managed to. We are the last month. We are still running at around 4.7% through the year. It has increased a little bit, so we have raised interest rates a little bit as well. We have already we have raised it at 75 basis points twice already.
Right.
Trying, because the Fed has been very, very aggressive in terms of raising their rates to
You
control
started to slow
inflation.
down, though. Governor Medalla was telling us yesterday 50 basis points as well, right? So what do you make of that amount of hikes from now on?
The high amount
50
of
basis points rate hike.
yes, because really inflation is something that we have to deal with. It has gone in terms of basic commodities, agricultural commodities, general costs to everyday requirements of ordinary people, and we cannot allow it to reach to an extent where people simply cannot buy their food or simply cannot pay their electricity or the water or all these basic things. So those are the levels that we can see we are watching very, very closely. It never gets to that point. Although,
Talagang hinaharapan niya yung solusyon yung problema natin sa langis dahil nga sa nangyaring gera sa Ukraine at Russia, at hindi kasi ang epekto sa buong mundo niyan eh. Talagang susolusyonan niya.
we would like to have more control over it, but we are chasing that number.
Especially fuel prices are continuing to rise. How is that impacting you?
Significantly, because the fuel prices actually, strangely enough, well, I think it impacts us in the same way that it impacts all the other countries. And fuel, as we well know, is such a basic commodity that everything follows. Everything follows fuel. To the point that even our agricultural commodities, fertilizers, inputs for have increased. Transport costs have gone up, and I've been asking our friends in the shipping industry, and they said there are no longer any charters for fuel shipments coming out of Russia, and so that again is going to. So what we are hoping to do is to go back and sort of diversify. The tendency is you get complacent and you depend on a single source. So now we will look to what we describe as non-traditional suppliers of fuel. So we have certainly depended on Dubai. We've watched the Dubai oil prices, but now maybe we need to approach Russia and say that maybe they can loosen up and provide us with some fuel.
Are you having those conversations with
Yes,
Russia?
we are. We are having conversations with as many possible suppliers or potential suppliers.
When could we see those supplies first?
Pretty soon. We're coming close to some agreements, and certainly it won't be. It will not be only in one place. And again, the diversification of supply lines in terms of not only fuel, for that matter, for all kinds
Do the
of other
sanctions
imports.
against Russia, given the invasion of Ukraine, worry you?
Yes, well, we can see because we can see the effects, and in our terms, the political side of it.
Ayun no, narinig nyo no, na yun talagang sinasakop ng China na itong Scarborough ba yan, yung nasa ano, tinayuan lang ng kanilang military base. Eh sabi niya talagang atin yun, tayo ang nagmamayari. Eh talagang plaplanuhin nila na bawiin talaga yan.
Chinese assertion that their local law should apply.
Are there any points for compromise?
Yes, I believe there must be. We have to continue
Ito kasing plano na to, hindi to basta-basta. Hindi gaya nung mga sinasabi ng iba na hindi tayo gumagawa ng plano para kunin yung sinakop ng China. Hindi po ganun kadali yun. Dahil iniisip na rin yung kapakanan ng mga mamamayan. Mahirap na kung magkagera, talagang talo tayo. Sa ginawa niyang hakbang na sa Amerika, isang hudyat na yan, medyo kabahan na ang China. Dapat mag-neutral na ang China sa ginagawa nilang pananakop.
I must say, we certainly have said that on this basis we cannot continue, but we continue to explore.
Ibig ko sabihin yung dahil nga sakop na tayo ng United Nation, eh medyo ano na yan, ito yung ikasisindak na ng China. Maaari na nating bawiin yung talagang sa atin.
Perhaps there can be other ways that we can do it. There have been examples around the region where they have similar differing views, let me just say, on the exclusive exclusive economic zones in the baseline, where they have managed to find a way to have joint explorations with the Chinese, the Americans, etc. Has been, of course, a little tricky, but nonetheless, the national interest comes first, and so we have to find those new sources of fuel. Yeah, but that applies not only to fuel. It applies to things like feed. It applies to things like fertilizer. It applies to things like all these other inputs that are just critical for us.
On the fuel side, nuclear plants, does restarting Bataan plant factor in?
Well, the thing is, in terms of our energy supply, vis-a-vis the demand, we are a long way off, and so without any of these crises, we already have had to be very.
Ayun. Nabanggit niya na ang Pilipinas talaga is mayaman sa biofuel. Yan. Kaya yan ang i-develop nila kung paano tayo makakuha ng sarili nating gas.
The modular, the small-scale modular.
Given
nuclear
how
power.
difficult it is to start them with the Bataan plant count.
The Bataan power plant, I don't know. It's very much in the gray zone. It's right at the cusp here. In that, is it still worth it to the fuel has been sold? We'll have to start very much from scratch. We're paying for it still, and it's never been online. It's never gone online. It's meant to go online in '86, but now we're looking perhaps. And he said, "Because what do you need? What are the most attractive sources of power generation, and that you would like to have in the future?" We need everything. We need
Iron Clan commitment.
again that they haven't been rolled out yet in a commercial basis.
Would that
Kamay na
also
bakal.
include a potential joint exploration of oil with China for longer-term solutions to this?
Well, yes,
Because those conversations were halted, right?
all up. Well, they were halted for the simple reason that we could not come to an agreement as to what local law will apply.
Would you like to restart them?
That was that's derivative that derives from the fact that there is a disagreement on the actual territory or the maritime area, the areas of the sea where that we consider to be Philippine, within the Philippine baselines, within the economic zones. Therefore, local law is Philippine law. The Chinese have a very different view, and they claim that this is their territory, and therefore their local law should apply. That's really, and it became a constitutional question. It would have been violative of our constitution if we were to agree. The United States are our only treaty partners when it comes to that, and so that has to evolve. And that is what we spoke about with President Biden. And I said, what we started off with maybe 70 years ago, the situation is entirely different now. And therefore, we have to evolve that. So the relationship between the United States to the Chinese assertion that their local law should apply.
Are there any points for compromise?
Yes, I believe there must be. We have to continue the.
The Philippines, as many other countries, is in a trickier position, right? Given the rivalry between the U.S. and China. If there are more tensions around Taiwan, what role will the Philippines play?
Well, the essential role that the Philippines is visioning for ourselves is just the defense of the Philippines. But it's clear to us that if there is actual outright conflict and if the shooting war begins, there is no way that we are exempt from that whatever. Kaohsiung is 40 minutes away by flight from. I must say, well, we certainly have said that on this basis we cannot continue, but we continue to explore. It's not something that we can possibly avoid, and so that of course the defense of the country is going to be the first priority. But again, we cannot act independently in the sense that the Philippines is not militarily explore, perhaps there can be other ways that we can do it. There have been examples around the region where they have similar differing views, let's just say, on the exclusive economic zones and the baselines, where they have managed to find a way to have joint explorations with the Chinese, with the Americans, etc. So, but in our case, it's not oil, it's gas. And because we feel that, as I said, that the subject now of the mix between renewables and
Dun sa problema ng Taiwan at China, kailangan lang natin ihanda yung ating mga military. In case na madamay tayo, nakahanda na tayo siyempre. Kailangan natin ng security. Didepensahan natin sarili nating bansa, pero hindi tayo sasama sa gera.
there are several prospective sources. I don't know if you're familiar with the Malampaya fields out in the West Philippine Sea, which have been providing us with a supply of gas. And you cannot look at the security situation and isolate it to defense and security. The economies around the West Philippine Sea and the Asian Pacific region, and we are continuing to negotiate those not the exploration, it's already the exploitation. The reserves already have been established, and there are fields that we feel are also something that will help us in that very critical situation of fuel supply.
You recently had a conversation with President Biden where you received that ironclad commitment for the defense of the Philippines. Tell us a little bit about this relationship with the U.S., especially when it comes to perhaps more military bases for U.S. use in the Philippines.
Well, the question of military bases, American or otherwise, has been decided because in our Constitution we're simply not allowed to have foreign military bases in the Philippines. However, given that, there are still many arrangements that we can make in terms of our joint military and defense and security responses to all these shocks that we are seeing and having to go through. So again, in the Philippines, for the Philippines and the United States, it's a very singular situation. We have had 100+ years relationship. Our formal relationship is 70 years, but even beyond that, we already had the relationship with the United States, and that's what we hope to build on. We continue to
And that
build.
includes more usage of bases for the U.S.
We can't have bases. We can't have
The
bases.
usage and other agreements that you
Well,
just
we have
talked
the
about.
Visiting Forces Agreement, which allows forces to come on a rotational basis, not a
Kaya
permanent.
narinig po nyo yung mga sagot ni Pangulong BBM, no? Maging yung nag-i-interview sa kanya is nasatisfied naman sa mga sagot ni BBM. Yan po ang ating mahal na Pangulo, kaya nakaka-proud maging Pilipino sa panahon natin ngayon. Sana all maging Pilipino na lang, no? Dahil talagang maganda ang naghihintay na kinabukasan ng bawat isa sa atin. Ngayon naman mga guys, ito pakinggan natin yung mga comment ng ating mga talagang solid na supporters gaya natin, no, ng ating Pangulong BBM. Ayan. Ito, sabi ni Saribiata, "Come on guys, this president of ours is a brilliant leader. Notice how he answered thought question. Ang galing mag-isip at ang galing ng sumagot. Lahat ng sagot ay para sa bawat mamamayang Pilipino." O, di ba? Kaya huwag kayong hanap ng hanap nasaan ang Pangulo, hayaan or kitang-kita. O hayan, kitang-kita, napakahusay ng ating presidente. Yan. Meron kasing viral ngayon na ginawa ng mga makakaliwa, no? Tinatanong kung nasaan ang ating Pangulo. Ayan, no? Hindi nyo po ba di ba kayo nanonood ng balita? Sa bagay, taga-bundok kayo, walang TV sa bundok. Alam ko high-tech na ngayon, kahit sa bundok ay makakarating ng internet. Bakit hindi nyo alam kung nasaan ang Pangulo? Ayan. Ito naman, sabi naman ni Noraline Cruz, PBBM really know how to handle things when it comes to foreign exchange, fuel, and everything that previous administration missed, so he started from scratch. So let us support him and be united in every possible way. I'm proud to be a Filipino because of him. Okay, di ba? Kung ganyan naman kagaling yung nagiging presidente natin lagi, no? Talagang magiging proud ka na maging Pilipino. Hindi ka naaalis ng sarili mong bansa. Hindi ka na mangingibang bansa para lang maghanap buhay kung ganyang katalino ng ating presidente. Talagang pauunlarin, magsisimula siya sa pinakamababang uri ng mamamayan na gaya natin. Ito naman sabi ni Gatcha Pretty, a brilliant president of the Philippines. We are proud of you, BBM. No wonder every country loves you. We are one of the best president that I've known. Ayan, kay brilliant president of the Philippines. Kay Gatcha. Ito naman kay Conrad Blando. Sabi niya, the interviewer and interviewee demonstrated professionalism in spite of some critical issues presented. PBBM was on point in answering questions. I appreciated the most when he emphasized that he wanted to focus more on the economic development of the Philippines in order to fulfill the basic needs of the Filipinos. He believes that by serving the people his country with utmost enthusiasm and persistence to accomplish the project's programs and accordingly would reciprocate what's this? Read more. Okay. Would reciprocate unconditional love and support of his countrymen. Let us continue to pray for a strong, unified, and proud Filipinos. Yan, galing kay Conrad Blando. Sabi naman ni Emily Masa, ayan. The vision, mission, and wisdom of PBBM is incomparable. Like his father FEM, he is brilliant, and the wisdom from his answer comes from his pure heart. Diba? Talagang nasa puso yung mga pagsagot ni BBM. Halata naman eh. For the welfare and love of his countrymen and the Philippines, mabuhay and martial law. Mabuhay ang martial law. Mabuhay ang Marcos family, mabuhay si PBBM. Ibig niya sabihin dito, kaya galing sa puso. Come from his pure heart. Ikaw ba naman yung akusahan ng magnanakaw simula pa nung naging Pangulo ang kanyang ama hanggang sa ngayon? Siyempre wala kang ibang iisipin kundi yung patunayan sa mga tao na isa kayong mabuting mamamayan ng Pilipinas, na maganda yung hangarin nyo. Nakakaano yung gano'n, no? Yung matagal na panahon iniisip nila na yung mga ginagamit nyo, yung mga sabihin na natin yung mga mga kabuhayan nyo, kinakain nyo araw-araw is parang ang sabi ng mga galing sa nakaw, ganun. So ngayon ang puso ng ganitong klaseng mga tao is talagang wala silang ibang iisipin kundi ang makatulong, di ba? Talagang gagawin niya lahat. Siguro wala na siyang inisip talaga kundi ang linisin yung pangalan nila, no? Sa pamamagitan ng pag-angat sa ating bansa. Ayan, kaya napaka-brilliant ang sumagot kasi nai-inspire siya sa mga naging karanasan nila. Ito naman galing kay Maria Lina. For me, 6 years is not enough to manifest all his great vision and intentions of all Filipinos and country. Thank you, PBBM. Thank you, PBBM, for representing the Philippines with brilliance and optimism. I am proud of you as our president. Praying for your administration success for the benefit of all Filipino. God bless you more. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Ayan. Diba? Wala kang makitang negative comment kasi nga yung nagiging ayun po mga kabisi, ano? Yung binasa kong comment is sa mga kababayan pa lang natin galing yan. Samantalang mas maraming magagandang komento galing sa mga taga-ibang bansa. Kung mababasa nyo lang yung mga comment ng mga ibang lahi, talagang napahanga sila sa talino ng ating presidente. Kaya ako bilang isang Pilipino, napaka-proud ko na nagkaroon tayo ng presidente na talagang sinuportahan ng ama. Talagang siya yung naging, naging sandata ng ama para baguhin, linisin, at simulan sa pagbabago ang Pilipinas. Ayan. Okay, hanggang dito na lang po ang bagong balita sa bagong maga ng bagong Pilipinas. Ako po si Leon BC at ito ang One News Report. Rewind, react, rest back.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click notification bell for more updates.